All right, so this is our staff from 2018. We've been doing summer camp here for, this will be, I think, our 6th year of doing summer camp. The district in past years were doing summer school. Because we're a STEM-based building, we were interested in seeing what it would look like to do something STEM-based in a summer program, just a short week or two. And so under the permission of our principal at the time, we decided we would hold a summer camp. It was about a week long, and it was Native American based. And what ended up happening is we had kids leaving summer school to come join our camp. It was so popular. So the following year we did it for 2 weeks. The next year we picked up middle school. We did a 2-week program here. We did a 2-week program there. And that proceeded on. Last year we were planning for face-to-face, and then of course the bottom fell out of everything, and we did a virtual program that was still in its own self successful. And then this year, thinking we were going back to what we had done before, the district actually received a tremendous amount of money from the federal government and from the state that's allowed us to fund a very robust program. So it's allowing us to have a larger staff, opening ourselves up to more students, and to put things in students' hands that we haven't been able to do in the past. In years past, we ran on a $500 budget. This year we're running on a budget in the thousands. So we're going to be able to do and offer many more things to the students. With that being said, instead of servicing about 120 to 150 students, we're going to service close to 500 students. So we'll be having in this building, our numbers as of this morning were 106 in this building. So we're at 3-5 only. There'll be a K2 program going on at Moorish, and they are, I think, at about 225 right now for numbers. And then there's also a middle school program that'll be going on at Elms, and they're at about 60 right now. So with that being said, let's go around, introduce each other so everybody knows who everybody is. My name is Michelle Bilby, for those of you who don't know me, and I think it's only the 2 guys back here. I'm the district STEM coordinator, so that's my job. I'm also the site manager here at DEEC, so I'm your go-to person. So I'm going to just go around the room.
I'm Shannon. I teach here this year. It's my 3rd building in 4 years. I am the EI classroom teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Jessica Jewell, and I work in the media center at the middle school.
Great.
I'm Madonna Kelly, and I'm a 4-5 split here at DEEC this year.
Hi, I'm Carson. I'm currently a student at Saginaw Valley. I went to school in this district, and I'm studying to be a teacher. Hopefully in high school.
And I went to school with Carson, and we were drum majors together in the marching band. My name is Jacob Winter. I'm currently a student at Harvard University. I graduated here last year. And right now I'm a long-term substitute at the high school.
Amy Lovely, Deep Elementary, lead SSE.
I'm Jessica Beasley, and I work here at DEEC at the Wellness Room.
Amy Johnson, I'm an SSE working in the RTI room.
All right, is that everybody?
And I'm Heather Berry. I'm the STEM coordinator here at DEEC.
And we'll also have Travis Baruski out of the middle school, and Michelle Davis will be coming from the middle school as well. Angela Millark from here at DEEC, and who else? Heather Stanley. And I think that's everybody on the list, isn't it? Yeah, I think that was it. Those are the ones. So some people weren't feeling too well today, and so they're not here. The handout I gave you just gives you a basic rundown. We're just going to kind of go through this. And then I'm going to go through a daily and a weekly format so you kind of know how we run. Basically, my job is going to be able to put everything you need in place so you can do your job the best. Okay? So that's the overarching of all this. So on the first page, you got your dates, your times. We start at 8:30, we run to 1:30, students are here from 9 to 1. We will be offering them lunch and breakfast. You can see my name there, that's my email address, that's my cell phone number. Put it in your phone. If you text me, make sure you include your name the first time you text me so I can get you in my phone. Don't hesitate to text me at any time, but I go to bed at about 9:30. So if you don't get an answer after those hours, I'm asleep. And if your phone bings early in the morning, it's because I rise with the chickens. So I live by the daylight. So you have your list of your teachers and your SSPs. The next page is just kind of a welcome letter from me. Our job here is not to be a traditional teacher. Our job here is to teach the kids how to explore learning. We're more about thinking about what's happening in front of you, thinking and figuring things out than the traditional teaching. There's no grades. We want you to we want them to be successful in anything they do. So if we have a student that doesn't typically write during class because maybe they don't feel they're a good writer, maybe they're not a good writer, we want them to become confident in getting words on paper. So we don't worry so much about grammar as getting those ideas down and then going back and exploring with them the grammar portion. And instead of criticizing them, we question them. Well, what do you think should be there? Doesn't that sound like there should be a period in that sentence somewhere? Where would you put the period? Where are you breathing at there? That type of thing. Instead of, it's kind of a different dynamic. I'm going to try to make this as stress-free as possible for you. So there are things out on the tables. We have a lot of literature and stuff I'm going to be sharing with you quickly. I'm going to try to have everything at your fingertips when you come in at the beginning of the week that you need for that week. So I'm going to give you a topic. I'm going to give you the better part of the materials, whether it be math, reading. The writing kind of comes out of the reading. And then I'm going to let you kind of go with the students and let that take the direction. Okay? I have developed a Google Classroom. The teachers will each have a Google Classroom, and in there will be the framework we're going to go through in a minute. It has the weekly topics, kind of guide you through the day. It has videos. I'm still building those out. We have 6 weeks worth of programming. I'm trying to get the first 2 weeks complete, and then it will build as we go. And the reason that's happening is because a lot of the stuff that I had to purchase for this, because everything in shipping is delayed, not everything is coming in a timely fashion. So the topics I have for the last portion of our camp may have to be tweaked based on what arrives here in time. So I probably won't fill out the last of the 3 weeks until we get started. Don't be afraid to take your learning outside of this building. It's summer. We've all been cooped up inside. We've got shade trees. We have beautiful grassy areas. We have a huge grassy area out back. You want to take your reading time, your writing time, you want them to reflect outside, feel free to take it outside. If you're working on a lab and you feel they can do this outside, get them outside. I'm all about being outside in the summer. Let's see. Oh, STAR testing. So because we fall under the grant money, we are required this year to STAR test in reading and math at the beginning and at the end. So that will be taking place the first week and the last week. Okay, so that's something fun, but we're going to try to sneak it in so it doesn't deter kids from coming. So, and I'll show you where that fits in the schedule. Again, students are going to be offered breakfast and lunch. And as of right now, they'll be eating those in the classrooms until we get some kind of lift on that restriction. So hopefully, or you can take them outside and eat. So a daily schedule. So every day runs on this basic same time frame. Now you have the right and the privilege to tweak this a little bit, but what this helps us do is get through all the topics of the day, and it kind of keeps us all on target and running smoothly. So at 9 o'clock we start. They'll have breakfast in the room, and usually while they're eating breakfast, you can be going over the learning target for the day. Sorry, I've been talking all afternoon. It's an opportunity to show a video that will spark interest in the topic we're working on that day, and then we'll do some reading on that topic. Then you can do some informational writing or writing up the lab process that they might be doing for their activity, or do some creative writing on the topic. Then we'll do some math intervention. This will be an opportunity for you to break them out into groups and work on math, or maybe do it as a large group. Now some of the units are going to require a lot of measuring, and especially for the older kids, so your math may be incorporated into your activity or your lab. And that'll make more sense as we get started. And you're going to find other places to plug that in as well. So as teachers, you have that freedom to do that. The 10-10 snack recess is kind of a potty break. I am going to bring in some snacks. That is an optional time. They're eating at 9, and then they're going to eat again at 11:30. It's only 2.5 hours. So if you want to fill that time, start your lab early, or if you need to take a 10-minute potty break, take everybody down, use the bathroom, whatnot, fill their water bottles, that type of thing, that would be your time to do it. And then what we do is go into our lab or our activity. We usually try to leave about an hour for that, because we like to have lots of time for play and exploration. And during that lab activity, they're actually going to be doing some writing and documenting. So that the writing component kind of carries throughout the whole day. We'll have lunch and a recess. Lunch, like I said, will be in your classroom currently. And then they'll go to recess. Teachers have to stay with the kids at all times. Your break comes at the end of the day. And then we come back in after lunch recess. We'll do our RTI. That's when we break out to do as small groups as we can. Unfortunately, we don't have a tremendous amount of support staff this year, so we're going to have to be a little creative. Now, because of the way it was presented to the community, we have a lot of high flyers, so there may be an opportunity to put a group over doing some buddy reading while you're taking some of the lower kids and doing some more lower interventions with the tier 2 and tier 3. Okay? We'll know that better once we get all our numbers in, and we can rate or find what tier our kids fall in, and then we'll know better what classes are going to be and all that. I was going to bring you class rosters. The numbers are still fluctuating, so I'm nervous to do that just yet. And then at 1 o'clock is dismissal, and at 1:30 you're released. Okay? Anybody got any questions over that? Okay. Our weekly topics, the first week we're going to be doing ice cream science, and that's what I'm going to take you through with worksheets real quick here in a little bit. The next week we're going to do animal habitats. Then we're going to do some engineering using Kiva, some straw bees. The older kids are going to do some more in-depth. The 5th graders are going to do some pretty in-depth stuff, kind of prepping them for middle school. We'll do robotics. So you have some robots right there on your table, and we're going to do some flying. So I've got some other flying stuff on order. I want to do some water bottle rockets with the older kids, but our 3rd and 4th grade, we're going to work with these pressure straw rockets. They'll build the rockets, but these launchers, actually you can adjust the pressure and the angle, and then your rocket you can construct with tails, wings, whatever, to explore flight, distance, speed, that type of thing. Okay? Our 6th week, I didn't give a topic to. The reason I didn't do that is because in the first week we're going to STAR test math and science, both on the 2nd day. All at once. Just get it done. We need that starting point. The 6th week we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to have them do math on one day and reading on another day. Now, we're not looking to show improvement, we're looking to show that there wasn't a huge slide. So our job is not to, I don't want to say it like this, but it's not to educate, but to reduce their slide. That's not the right wording for it, and I apologize for that, because we are educating them. But we're not trying to improve them as much as we're trying to keep them from falling behind. Okay? So that last week will be catch up, we'll do our testing. Last day is usually a field day, and you'll see pictures of that up here. We're outside, we're having some fun. We usually wrap up any topics on that Monday. You have, as teachers, you'll have explored a lot of different things. You're gonna find your kids are gonna, one of these is gonna, your class is just gonna go nuts over. That last week, you can come back and pick one of these up. Or if you see something in this building, I know the gentlemen back here aren't familiar with the building yet. We have a lot of stuff here. So there might be something else you want to do with your class for a day. And we'll get into all that later. You'll learn that as you go. By the end of August, you'll know everything we got. Like I said, all the materials you'll need will be staged for you. We'll be using the makerspace out here. I'll have everything out there set up for your class. The teacher or the SSP can come down, collect your materials, take them back to your class. It'll probably be in a tub. It'll have all your reading material, it'll have any handouts you need. It'll have whatever manipulatives you're gonna need, any supplies. If you should find out you don't have something in your tub, you're gonna hop on your walkie and give me a holler and I'm gonna get it right to you, okay? Let's see. At the end of the week, I ask that you bring those tubs back with everything back in it. That way I can track our inventory, how much we used, what we might need to replace, that type of thing. And I'll trade out your reading material and all that. All right, so each student, because we have a large budget this year, each student's gonna get their own notebook and their own preloaded pencil case. They're gonna get markers, scissors, glue stick, ruler, colored pencils, everything they need. So each student's gonna get one of these the first day, along with the notebook. We're very fortunate that never happens. What else? Oh, reading materials. So this year we got a sizable grant just for the purchase of reading materials. These reading materials have to go home with the students. So we're going to be using the science and reading A to Z books for a lot of our reading, but we also were able to purchase a large number of real books. So every student will be going home, I think at this point, with at least 2 real books. These can be used during your RTI or your morning reading time. They may not apply to the topic you're working on because of the way we had to purchase them. I couldn't be picky of what topics I purchased, but they are level to the kids. Okay, and we have multiple levels. So when you get your student roster, you'll also know what their DRA level is, and you'll be able to pick books for their specific reading level. And there are 6 of each book. These are power pairs, so they actually have a fiction set and a non-fiction set. So these are kind of cool. The other thing we have for reading materials that we've used in the past and work really good, and these work really well in our RTI program as well. They're called quick reads, and they're just articles, and we can get them in multiple levels. So depending on student, their DRA. So there'll be a lot of those out too. And this is where you guys will have to do some picking and choosing on your own. Because what I'll probably do is have them all out there, and you can come out and pull what you need for your level. And if we're short on something, you're gonna holler and I'll get you some extra copies. I heard just a little while ago that they're probably gonna open the copy center for 2 days a week during camp, so that we have, in the morning, so we have access to getting materials, and I'm not burning up the in-house copier. Okay, we're gonna be using we'll be using this classroom, the one there, the one here, there, and there. Is that all right with you? Keeps us all close together. You'll be using teacher classrooms, and those teachers may or may not have moved out of their classroom or relocated in the building. So they're gonna be covering their walls and anything that they don't want bothered. So if it's under paper, please don't touch it. Make sure your kids don't touch it. The desktops will be cleaned off, and you'll have access to the computer. Just any personal items or classroom items for that teacher or that room, we just ask that you don't bother, mess with it, okay?
What's that, Tara's room, Mary's room,
Tara's
Angela, and Madonna?
And Madonna, and then these two rooms. We're gonna use the maker space as our staging room. It's much louder than this room, and you put kids in there and it's just, I'm not gonna put you guys through that all day. Student conduct. So if you have any issues with students, we have some options. The one thing I don't want you doing, except for you guys, because, Shannon and Heather are gonna be running, what's the proper label, doing yours?
Well, I'm taking my EI students
Okay.
that are
So,
signed up.
yeah, she's gonna have the EI students. If you have a behavior problem in your room and it's being disruptive, please call me right away. We actually, as of right now, are going to have 2 social workers on staff as well. We're gonna take advantage of that. I don't want you, we're not here with the kids for very long. I don't want you to have to deal with behavior problems. I want your room to be moving forward, positive and exciting and fun. Does that mean somebody's gonna get overzealous? Yep, there's gonna be a lot of overzealous. There's a difference between overzealous and disruptive or inappropriate behavior, or destructive.
So Heather did just bring up a good point. For
Yeah.
my kiddos, does Angela's room have a restroom in it?
Yes, it does.
All the ones on this hall.
All the ones
They
on this
all
hall,
do?
yeah.
Okay.
We all have a restroom,
Alright.
yes.
That'll definitely
They don't have
be helpful, then we don't have to.
You don't have to
traveling.
leave. Yeah. Every one of these rooms has, it's a one stall room, but yeah. I think that's, we also, the other thing you need to, some of you will have students that see our speech pathologist through the summer. Her name is Marilla Summers, if you don't know who she is already. She will still be seeing her caseload through the summer. She may or may not be pulling students out of your room. I think as of right now, she's planning on being here on Wednesdays, is what she told me.
And it's just some of her kiddos, it's
Yeah.
just the ones who get the summer school
Right.
services.
Yeah. So if, most of you it's not going to affect, but I just want everybody to know, if she comes to pull a student, she doesn't keep them very long, and she's getting them because they need to be with her, so, we let them go there. And last but not least, every Monday at 8:30, we will meet in the makerspace every Monday morning at 8:30. I like to do, communication. We're gonna come together. I'm gonna tell you what we're doing that week, what's at your fingertips, what you can use. It's kind of a, okay, there it went. There it goes. We come together so we can talk about the week. Make sure you got everything at your fingertips, everything you need. On Thursday, at the close of the day, once we get rid of all the kids, we meet back in there for 15 minutes. We'll go through our celebrations and our disasters, changes we might need to make, what went well, what didn't go well. I always like to make sure that I'm tracking all that stuff so that we can, for the following year, we make sure we don't make that mistake again. So, and I'm always open to suggestions. I'm all about collaboration. So if you guys got an idea, please, if you're doing something you think, oh, you know what would be cool? Please, please. I'm all about it. I've done some pretty crazy stuff. So, with that being said, I'm gonna run you through, put you in real quick on a my glasses down here so I can see. How's my time, Heather? Feel good?
Yeah, it's 25 after.
All right. So I set up Google Classrooms. Is this the best way to communicate with you? I don't know, but it's what we're gonna use. And this may change. I may go to assignments instead of just this, which is the stream. So the first one's just got some odds and ends. There's a copy of the STEM virtual books. You can go to this site. There are a ton of virtual reading books aside from everything else we're going to use. You might find something incorporates there. There are some worksheet sites that you can go to. You might want to pull up some worksheets. One of these, I think it's this one here, the math worksheets, you can actually plug in your own numbers and build your own worksheet. It's kind of cool. So,
Michelle, do you need IDs and passwords for those sites or no?
oh, okay. So the one here, this STEM one, this is coming out of ISD. They actually put together a virtual bookshelf, and basically what it is videos of people reading stories out loud.
Now, education.com only allows so many free things a day
Oh,
unless you have an account.
so if you want something off of it, see me.
And
Because if I have-
I have an account.
You have an account? If I
Yeah,
have to, I'll
but-
get an account.
Okay.
So I held back a certain amount of money out of my budget for things like that.
Yeah, they only offer so many free a day, and it's only like 3 or 4.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll make sure that happens. I really like this one because you can build it your own. That was really cool. So here's your framework for a day. Again, the learning target. The first thing we're gonna do the first day is we're gonna talk about what makes ice cream melt. And their lab that day is going to be creating something that keeps ice cream from melting. So you're going to talk about the melt rate of ice cream, what's in ice cream. There's some video links, shows ice cream melting. Here's a Save the Snowman. This guy's making ice cream. And then here is the document, which is, so this is what I'll probably have. This is what I will have for you each week. I'll do up your lab documents. So this is the packet that they'll work from. And there's copies up here if you guys want to take some just to look. I've got the first week. I think I've got all the labs laid out. But they're going to basically, this runs them through. So they're going to develop a container, hold an ice cube before they go to lunch to keep the ice cube from melting before they get back to lunch. Okay? And this is taken through the design process. It's got the materials that's going to be available to them. We're reminding them that not all containers are square. And then they're going to design it on paper. Then they're going to write what we call a purchase list for materials. So they don't just come up and take everything on the table that's available to them and then not use it all. They have to tell us exactly what they want. And then they're going to have an opportunity to construct that. We'll give them their ice cube. And then we'll go have lunch. We'll come back and explore what happened. So that's the first day. We were going to have our ice cream tasting lab on the first day, and then I realized, let's give them ice cream, let's test them on the second day, and we won't see them ever again. So we, on Monday, are going to start, as we're doing all this, start talking about this wonderful ice cream tasting lab we're going to be doing on Wednesday. On Wednesday. You gotta be here on Wednesday. We're not going to talk about what we're doing on Tuesday. We're going to kind of trick them a little bit. I'm going to make sure we have a special treat on Tuesday, though, so that we kind of keep them coming. Because on Tuesday, they're going to get tested. That's basically all we're doing, is testing. If we get done in a hurry, we'll have some activities for them to do, but it's all about the testing on Tuesday. Get it out of the way. And then on Wednesday, we'll do our tasting lab. So they'll have 4 different scoops of ice cream, just little scoops, and they're going to be tasting and comparing them. And filling out a data sheet on each. They're going to be looking at the flavor, the body and texture, the appearance, and then they're going to decide whether or not which one was the best. They're not going to know what the brands are until the end. You'll be surprised which one turns out to be the best one.
Make sure you consider the lactose students and what.
Yeah, so one of the things we've got to get is allergy information on all the kids, so still waiting on some things to be opened up so that I can have access to them. They were holding off, but I think we're finding we're gonna have to open them up sooner.
Yeah, because then we have some of our peanut free kids too, because some of the ice cream, even if it doesn't have it in it, is produced in.
Yes, yeah. And for the kids that are lactose tolerant and, the peanut allergies, what I'll tend to do is I'll bring them popsicles. And I'll bring in different kinds of popsicles. So I can circumvent that. I want everybody doing something fun. So if they're doing popsicles, it says ice cream, but. And then at the end of the week, or then on Thursday, they're gonna do ice cream packaging. They're gonna design a new container. And that's kind of more of an art project, but we are seeing, so. So that's the first week. The books that I have for you laid out are in different levels. What I have on this card is actually the medium level, I have a low level, and I have a high level for our Heart Flyers. And I can get more of these. I've already printed, I don't know, about 800 books, so I'm still waiting for more of them to come in. So we'll have more of those at your disposal too. Any of this material or those that students read, when they're done reading it, you've completed the week, they can take it home. Okay? So first week is ice cream lab, and that's what's on this table. We'll have 4 different kinds of ice cream or treat. We'll have a glass of water, a spoon, a napkin, and they'll go through, they taste one. We're gonna cleanse the palate. Remember, we're scientists, we're in a taste testing lab, we're scientists tasting these. We'll cleanse the palate, we'll go to the next one, they'll make all their documentation for each one before they go on to the next. So, we did this a few years ago, and it was pretty cool. It was kind of amazing what the results were too. The second week we're doing animals, and they'll get a little plastic animal. They're gonna research their animal. They're gonna find out what it eats, where it lives, what temperatures it like, what's its habitat, what predators does it have. We wait all day for that. Oh, I don't have to yell. And they'll also what it's a predator too. We have pieces of cardboard. Now, we did last year for summer school, we did them in the top of a shoebox because kids were having to do things from home. So we gave them the plastic animal and some of the materials, but we told them to find anything around the house and make a habitat. I've got some of this chipboard and I can get more cardboard. I thought it'd be cool to do their habitats on here. So you're gonna do research, and then you'll have a couple of days of construction, and then on the last day, they can present to their group, tell all about their habitat. They love doing that. So we have a lot of craft things that are gonna go with this, so that day you'll get pipe cleaners and tissue and paint and anything they need in order to create their habitat. We use a lot of this Model Magic. It's air dry clay, really soft. You can take a white one and add watercolor marker to it and make it any color you want it to be. So that's even science in itself. Engineering, our third graders are gonna be working with the Kiva block. These are engineered exactly the same. They're really nice because they stand. And we have some lessons laid out in the engineering unit that they'll be able to do with this. We have a lot of these. We have some down with you already. Our third graders are gonna be working with these. These are fun too. You can do cantilevers off the side of the table, so so they learn about balance and counterbalance. That's really an interesting one too. Another one you can do is build mazes with it, and we have brush bots that then can navigate the maze. So then they're learning about angles. They'll find that they get trapped in corners and they have to alter the angle of the maze in order to make them free. Then we'll be doing robotics. Now, we have mini Spiros, which are the smaller version of this. This is the Spiro bot. This one's the big bot. This is a gyro inside of a ball. This thing is waterproof. This is actually destructive proof from a second-story building onto concrete. Not that we want them heaving them across the room, but just don't panic if they get dropped. They are run, we're gonna use Blockly programming with these, so that's a drag and drop software, and then they just change the parameters within each of those. Most of the kids you are gonna fly with these, they're gonna blow right past you. I was over at Morris this afternoon because the site managers are over there panicking about not knowing programming, and we pulled in some second graders and handed it to them. I showed them how to turn it on, kind of how it worked, and away they went.
If you need anybody in this building for help, come get my Jack.
Yeah.
Because goodness gracious, and he loves to be a teacher, well, him too, but also I have a student Jack, so I have two.
Yeah.
He'll be here some days, and
So
then
if
my
you have-
student Jack is like,
Any of the DEEC
Whiz.
students have worked with these, and they can be your leaders in your classroom, but most of the kids in this district have worked with these as well. So if you don't know how to use them, don't panic. When we get close to this topic, if you wanna take one home for the weekend and play with it, you're more than welcome to do it. They run Bluetooth, they'll run off your phone, they'll run off a Chromebook that's Bluetooth. We use iPads as well. We have, the smaller version of this is called the Mini Sphero. It doesn't light up like this does. This one you can actually program patterns into the light panel on here. Change the lights, they make noises. So that'll be what fourth graders are working with. The third graders are gonna work with the Mini Spheros. And then our fifth graders are gonna use these. These are called Edison robots. And these, you do the same type of programming, but you plug it in and send the program into it. These are light sensitive. They'll follow a black line. They are responsive to sound, so you can clap to make it start and stop. You can add Legos to them. You can construct things attached to them. You can use them not as a robot moving on the ground, but as a gear system, as a motor to run something else. So these are really cool. We use these, our kids in this building have been using these for the last 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really good with these now. So we'll be doing that. And then our fifth week, we're gonna do explore flight. Like I said, we're gonna be using these straw rockets with our third and fourth graders, and if my water bottle rockets don't come in time, we'll either be doing stomp rockets or something similar to this with our fifth graders. I flirted with doing the real rockets.
They're not getting rockets.
Because they're not getting rockets this year. But then I saw my numbers, and I decided not to do that, because it is time, constructing the rocket itself is time consuming, because the gluing and the drying process. And so I decided not to do that, and plus then it's dependent on the weather. And so we're gonna go with this type of rocket. So this can be indoor or outdoor. And the stomp rockets we could do in the gym if we wanted to. But they'll explore the same thing, distance, angle, amount of energy introduced. And then the sixth week will be any wrap up, anything you want to pick up, anything you want to do in the sixth week. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday we'll do our testing, and Thursday will be our wrap up day. They'll take everything home, we'll have a good time, and then we'll take a week and get back at it. I know that's a lot. Any questions? Besides the 100 that are running through your head? Or none now? I will be, in the next few days, you'll get an email from me, and I'll have the link to your Google Classroom that I've set up. I've a couple I need to still tweak a little bit, because I've changed some things around based on what I have and have not been able to get in. So as soon as I get that nailed down, I will tell you, I can tell you what grade I've chosen for you, and who you're going to be paired with. So Travis is going to be doing 5th grade, and Amy Lovely will be working with him. Michelle Davis, who's not here, will be doing 5th grade, and Heather Berry will be working with her. They're both new to the program, and Amy and Heather have been working in this for a long time. Amy actually has worked with me from the inception of summer camp. So I'm putting them with the 5th graders, teachers, because they haven't done this before. And I picked middle school teachers for that because I figure that'll help build that relationship for those 5th graders will have somebody they recognize at the middle school. Madonna Kelly will be doing 4th grade. Carson, you're gonna be an aide with her. Shannon Dickerber and Heather Stanley are gonna be doing 4th grade. Angela Martin, I'm gonna put Tammy with Angela Martin because she's already got a relationship with a lot of those students already at that grade level.
Is it still gonna be 3rd?
It's still gonna be 3rd. Jacob, you're gonna be doing 3rd, and you're gonna have Jessica Jewell, and I'm putting Jessica in with you because Jessica's been working in our program a long time too, and I think it'll be helpful. And this Jessica, I'm gonna have you in between, I think, both fifth grades right now. I'm gonna have you kind of as a floater. Partly because of your wellness and all that. So I didn't sign you specifically, so we're gonna wait and see where our needs are. And if we find a place where we really need to have an extra small group during RTI time, that's what we're gonna use you for, okay? So you may be third, fourth, or fifth, I don't know. So.
What about me?
Oh, Brittany! How did I miss that? You know what, I think right now, I'm gonna put you down. You know what, we had talked about Ethan, so we have Ethan, and you have a relationship with him.
And Brian, she knows him too.
So we may have you in with them.
Okay.
You're gonna be a floater.
Okay.
And that's why your name wasn't on here, cause we've been talking about your relationship with Ethan and Brian.
Okay.
Sorry about that, I didn't mean to leave you out, but that's why your name wasn't on here, because, those skills I wanna try to utilize.
Okay.
Anybody got any questions about that? SSBs, I will send you the classroom too, so you can see what's going on, so you can be, you're there to support your teacher and those students, any way you can. And sometimes it's stepping in ways we don't plan on, so. Any other questions?
Will we have swipe cards that scan into the building?
Building will be, I'll have it unlocked for you.
Okay.
So I'll be here before you are. Building will be open. We probably won't use the front office. I will probably have the front door open on the, makerspace out here, which we can go out there in a minute. Boy, it gets hot in here in a hurry, doesn't it? And then I'll have, well, I don't know though.
These middle doors open.
I'll have these middle doors, I may have the front doors open too. I try not to leave too much of the building unlocked, and then once we start, we'll probably lock the front anyway, just so we know, because nobody will be at the front office. So.
Last time we only used this middle one.
We only use this middle one, so for pickup and stuff, we got more people off the road and down further. We're gonna be dealing with busing this year too. We're gonna have a shuttle coming in from Moorish. And I don't know if we're gonna have shuttles coming in from Holmes. I haven't got clarification on our busing as of yet, and I think it's because they haven't quite figured out all the kinks. I think they had a brilliant idea of busing, but I think they're finding out that it comes with so anyway, there are no fine details on the busing as of yet, but by day one, we'll have it nailed down. So we will have a bus at least coming in from Moorish for the before and after care, and we'll have a bus that goes out. One thing I gotta work on is getting car tags set up. I haven't done that yet. So we'll have car tags for our students. That first day, we're also gonna have to have, there'll be a form going home so we get allergy information, because in the registration form from the district, they did not include all of the information that we feel we need to have. So we'll have allergy information, even though I'm gonna have contact information, I also want a written copy from parents of contact and who can't pick up. And you'll have that in your hands too.
Some of our students that are registered are diabetic
Yes,
and seizures.
yes,
So.
and that information hasn't been opened up to look at yet. I don't know why they're waiting, but they told me today they're waiting. So, so we'll have more of that information too, so you'll have it in your hands. Am I missing anything? I'm sure I am. Most of it's gonna play out as we go. It's laid back, well, sort of laid back. The teachers are just chatting it up, aren't they? We're kind of laid back, so, dress code is weather appropriate. Weather school appropriate. No bikinis.
No worries.
Yeah. So we will have air conditioning, while we're here. It does work, sort of.
Air conditioner though.
Yeah.
Cooler.
It's cooler, yeah.
Air cooler.
It's cooler,
I call them the noise machine.
yeah. So the roar will start before you get here, and And we'll try and get the rooms as cool as we can. That's why I say if we can be outside as much as possible. I hate being locked up in a room all day. I'm an outside person anyway, so. Anything else? There will be more information to come, so check your email. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. If something seems screwball or you don't understand or you think you have maybe you have a better idea than I do, I'm all for it. And with that, I'll let you go. Cause I know I wanna go home.